Hey, what's up, everybody? Very excited to bring in Tennessee Titan offensive lineman, star at Michigan. Blaine's going to attempt to pass rush him at some point, I think, in the episode, which I can't wait to see when he gets slammed in that goal. Taylor Lewan, busting with the boys. Now you're in here busting with these boys a little bit, T-Dub. What's up,
Let's go, man.
Come on.
Yeah, let's go. A little energy to start.
I'll tell you what, when I walked in here, I had no idea what to expect.
Yep.
My biggest concern when I was walking in here, what's the air conditioning situation like? And I'm going to be honest, boys. There's a reason why Mr. Rogers over here got the sweater.
Yes. The neighborhood's lit.
Because it is.
Right?
Because it's a nice vibe in here, too.
Yes, it is.
And I'm loving everything you guys got going on here. It's way more official than I thought it would be.
Well, I appreciate that. I think they go with the casino route. The colder it stays in here, the longer we stay awake and become effective. Like in casinos, the colder it is, the longer you stay awake to lose money. That's exactly right. And bring drinks. And if a casino doesn't have free drinks, you will not find Jake at that casino.
Oh.
But Taylor, I want to start off. Let's talk about the Titans a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that.
This is where I want to start.
Very well versed in that team.
Very well versed in that team. I know you've met a couple of the guys, obviously playing there. But with this Titans team, you guys seem, and Coach Rabel seems, to have that old school toughness mindset, and you guys seem to play that way. It's not the flashiest offense of all time, but you guys seem to be, whether it's on the defensive line, whether it's on the offensive line, the game is won and lost up front, and I would say that if you weren't even here.
That's very nice.
But how much is that harped with you guys on dominating in the trenches? And in your opinion, is that the identity of who the Titans are?
Yeah, I think you've nailed it definitely with that. When it comes to like the Titans and how we operate, we're very specific on what we do on first and second down. And we can pass the ball absolutely, but there's a whole range of things that kind of stay in our wheelhouse. When you have a back like Derrick Henry, it's kind of a game over situation. Like we got to give him the ball. He's an absolute stud. The biggest thing that surprised me the most this year was our defensive line. They came out. And I think the year before, our defense was statistically not the best defense. And I think they had a chip on their shoulder all through camp. They're out there dumbing the offense. And sure enough, throughout the season, they were complete studs. So I think when it comes to Vrabel and his attitude, my man smoking darts between at halftime and stuff like that type of vibe. I'm not saying he does smoke cigarettes, but
yes,
he is like, not only is he like he's a player's coach type guy, he makes you feel like, every game is the most important game, but he keeps the boys well versed. When it comes to situational football, how much time's on the clock, if you're in a 2-minute situation, if you have a hurricane, or you have 18 seconds with no timeouts and it's third down, and you kind of get into gray areas, is it fourth down, is it first down, do you bring the field goal unit out? And so there's 11 guys in the field at one time. All 11 guys know what type of situation we're dealing with.
Okay.
And if you're in a spot where like the game is slowing down, they're dealing with an injury timeout or something like that, Rabel's always calling a guy over, hey, remind guys of this, remind guys of that. And then during, the week, it's like you go into a team meeting and buttholes are tight. You're very nervous about what's he going to ask me, because he'll give you the information on Wednesday. Here's the keys to victory. This is what this team likes to do. These guys are who you have to worry about, and this is this guy's pass room and stuff like that. And then you go in Thursday and it's like a pop quiz.
Yeah.
Like, everything I just told you yesterday, tell me everything.
Yeah.
So he does a good job of keeping the guys on their toes and learning about the game of football.
I always find it interesting how different head coaches operate in terms of preparing teams. Some coaches, kind of overload guys and then come back and try to expect them to remember it. Some guys kind of force feed stuff to players. Something we always talk about, Taylor, is the difference in practices from college, even high-level college at Michigan, to the NFL. Typically, there's not as much yelling and all that stuff. I want you to explain to our audience how different a college football practice is as opposed to an NFL practice.
But they've noticed this, dude. When you're at Michigan, you're practicing, it's an absolute bloodbath every single day. Spring football's a bloodbath, camp's a bloodbath, and then you get into November and it's still a bloodbath on Wednesdays and Thursdays. It's kind of wild. So when you get to the NFL, the thing that stood out to me the most of just practices in general is the ability for players to stay on their feet. Like, guys know the importance of how injuries, the injury rate in the NFL is 100%. Everyone's going to get hurt at one point. And so when we're practicing, guys are very conscious about staying on their feet. If guys are starting to go down, they start yelling and making sure everyone's good, and then the guy goes down and kind of taking care of each other that way. That's a big thing. As far as the yelling, it depends on the coach. Yeah. Keith Carter, offensive line coach for the Titans, guy, I don't know, has a voice.
The OL guys are all the same, aren't they?
He's very demonstrative. He loves to give it to the boys. So he's great. Vrabel can be that way too. Tony Dews, who was at Michigan with us, he's a guy that can, he'll yell at anybody but Derek, I think. I think Derek can kind of just leave alone.
Smart.
He's one of those.
Smart.
Like I say,
when you become a meme of how big you are, you kind of just leave that
well, it's like I
guy
say,
alone.
the most important person with Derrick Henry is the pilot of the plane and the bus driver. Just get him to the game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, dude. Just get him. And so it's the whole yelling, and all that. It's based on the coach.
Yep.
As far as like how the practices are, they're still very physical. They're still very tough. But like when you get like 4 or 5 games in the season, it's like, all right, it's long. When guys are taking breaks, getting ready for their bowl games in college, we're still playing weekly. And then bowl games happen, and then after bowl games, we're still playing football. And if you're lucky enough, you keep going after that. And so it's a longevity thing and keeping guys safe as you get farther and farther in the season. In my opinion, I mean, you're in it for 9 years, and when you're in college, you don't really know any different. You sit in college and you're kind of like, oh, this is just it. You just grind and you beat the shit out of yourselves, and then that's just kind of life. And then you get to the NFL and you're kind of like still doing that, and then you learn like, I have to take care of my body, and this, like, I have to do this on a Wednesday, this on a Thursday, this on a Friday for me to be ready on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like when I was in college, I hated massages. I would not get a massage. I just felt like the thought of me laying on a table and someone like just
vulnerability.
Yeah, the vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
Do you wear shorts? That's right there. But now I'm comfortable.
Okay.
Now I'm very
good.
comfortable.
Okay.
with
Good.
that. But you kind of do you wear the shorts? Are you wearing like the compressions?
You don't know.
Do you let it go?
You
And then
don't
what's
know.
the deal
Yeah.
if blood flow happens? So it's kind of a whole deal.
That's
and you're really
important
working
thing.
with that, especially when you're 18 to 22 years old.
Yeah.
And then you get in the NFL and you're like, oh, I legit need to just do massages. I have to do massages. I have to do IV therapies. So it's a regimented thing that a lot of guys, I think the biggest thing, whether they're going to be successful or not in the NFL, is how they take care of their body and willing to go the extra mile outside the building.
I like that. This message is brought to you by Cialis. With Cialis, now you can go see Alice. Go ahead,
Hey,
John.
well, first of all, can I give you a go blue?
Go
Can
Blue.
I give you a
It
go
is
blue,
absolutely
man?
great to see.
Look,
dude.
it's great to see you as well. I really appreciate you coming in. But before we relive any of our Michigan glory days, I have to bring something up. I think we have a clip here.
This
Clip up, because as you know, I came up to Michigan, but I'm from South Georgia. And you said some things about Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
You made some comments about Chick-fil-A.
You know what? My favorite thing going on people's shows is when they just have back pocket holster shots to give
For
me.
sure.
Here we
Your clip?
are.
This has been loaded.
Yeah.
That's the quarterback.
Wow.
The
I'll
quarterback's
just tell you
had this one ready.
His first words he said, he's literally said a tweet's worth of words, and now all of a sudden he wants to jump
there
in
it is. Yeah,
to
there it
absolutely soiling me. So go on, dude.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
Not soil you. I actually wanted to defend you.
Oh my
No.
God.
Wait, what is this?
Hold on.
What?
Not defend you on Chick-fil-A. I think what you said was blasphemous. Okay.
So
but I
don't
want
know
to
what's going
defend your
on. Yeah, I'm
right
so
to
confused.
say it because these two guys have tried to own me for saying that The Other Guys is an awful film. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's a tough one there, bud, because Other Guys is probably the most underrated.
Let's go! Let's go!
Hey, I
Let's
just
go.
want you to remember that I'm defending your Chick-fil-A.
No,
Okay.
no.
Hey, listen, I'm okay with being on an island. I'm okay.
Yeah.
with being here
One ring
by
he does
myself.
it every
Give me a
Sunday.
canoe with no paddle. I'm ripping around this place.
One ring to rule them all, and the darkness shall bind
This is-
them.
and
That's
this is us.
exactly
What got me about your other guy's take
This
was,
is us,
David,
man.
what was it?
How do you
Was it
like
word-
Division
you said
3, but don't
awful.
like
It wasn't that I said I think the film's awful, which I should have said. You got to choose your words more carefully. I said the film was awful, and so
Yeah.
now I have a very structured approach to my movie reviews on Twitter, and we have a star system. Okay, and that's just
You
what we
went
have to-
rivals.
Hey, run this clip real quick.
Yeah, let's run it
Taylor
real
see this
quick.
clip real quick.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah, let's talk about
That's
that.
outstanding.
Before, let's give context now before you
Thank
just
you,
let's
Crain.
do it under
I'll
that.
give
Context right now.
Hard work and dedication.
Trash.
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 Now, that's my stance.
Trash. But you
Okay.
love In-N-Out Burger though.
I think In-N-Out Burger is the best fast food burger you can possibly buy.
I don't think you're crazy saying that. We went out and played San Diego State. I had In-N-Out Burger with the animal sauce. Very nice. Very
Animal
nice.
style,
I like the
animal
hidden
style, but
menu.
yeah.
I do like it, but I do have to say, there's a few things, Taylor. Before you came in here, I was a little hot about this on the Chick-fil-A thing. Honestly, it's honesty hour. This is the trust tree. But now, after I've gotten to know you, I can look past that. There's some things I can't move on from, like Blaine saying Oreos are mid. There's some things I
What does Oreos are mid mean?
they're just a mediocre. They're a
Not the
mediocre.
double stuffs, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
Not the double stuffs.
again.
I thought you were going to have
Thank
him
you.
bring in his playbook for the Chick-fil-A.
Can you let me finish?
You have to.
You just can't.
No.
We're not, Justin, we're not going to brush past of what just happened between us.
Yeah.
We're going to let him have his
Really,
moment.
this is really Taylor Swift.
gonna bring
Please
Mark
tone.
We're in the trust tree.
I'm
We'll
deep
get
in
there
it.
We're in the
eventually.
trust
We'll get
I
there.
plugged into the Matrix 10
trust
minutes
tree.
ago, and I'm trying to get through it.
That's good.
Where's Morpheus?
Now that's a great film.
Thank you. Anyways,
I've never seen it.
Cone wanted me to ask you to turn in your playbook for not liking Chick-fil-A, but Taylor's been here. I think Taylor should keep his playbook, and if anybody's going to block anybody, I trust Taylor because you played quarterback, and let's be honest.
Well, look, this
And let's be
for
honest.
someone who's as tall as I am but as wide as the three of us combined, yeah, I'd say
tough,
let's
tough to
still,
hear.
you know.
Yeah.
well, no, first off,
mean that.
first off,
It's all right.
you're saying a bunch of big words. Watch your mouth.
Okay, because
I'm
it's
a-
different. You're gonna take.
I don't know what they mean, so
disrespect.
I'm going to take them as disrespect.
Okay, well I'll tell you
So watch
what.
your mouth.
Here's something else we have to talk about. Michigan finally beat Ohio this year.
So we're done with Chick-fil-A.
We're done. with it.
I guess we're just
I'm gonna
segueing
move
by.
off that.
If I could
Let's
just have, I gotta have
say
just say
something
one
else.
thing about Chick-fil-A.
Go, yes,
Okay.
please.
I stand by everything I said.
Okay, I respect.
I just want to say.
Taylor, I respect that.
Trash, though. Trash.
Well, I've already kind of dug my heels in the ground on this, so it's really hard for me to weasel my way back. Here's what I will say about Chick-fil-A. I've never really enjoyed it. It's been it's a good sandwich. It's a good sandwich. I love waffle fries. I think their milkshakes are above average. And then I get to the Tennessee Titans. And every single United flight I've taken with the Tennessee Titans to wherever we go,
ruined it.
it's a giant bag
Ruined
of
it.
Chick-fil-A. You smell it.
Yep.
Because I used to be the pomegranate sauce guy. I used to be the Chick-fil-A sauce guy. I put some buffalo sauce on
Let's
that
do
thing.
it.
Dip
Mix
in
it
ranch.
up.
I'm a huge sauce guy.
Oh.
And I love the variety of sauces they happen to give.
We're getting there, believe me. We're getting to the sauce.
I love that. And so I love the things they do, but the hype that surrounds it, I mean, I don't get why.
You know,
I think
overrated, underrated.
If you work in a pizza
like
place,
Five
like
Guys.
you get sick of pizza. Like it's just, it's a real thing.
Yeah, you can just get sick of something after a
And
while.
since we're on food, I know you want to ask a Michigan question, but we got it. You tweeted out today that ranch is better than blue cheese. I could not agree with you more. I wish I would applaud a blue cheese shortage. We talk about baby formula and all this other stuff. If we could have a blue cheese shortage, that would be better for America, in my opinion. But I am also on the honey mustard is more versatile than ranch train.
Yes.
I know, Taylor. I know.
No, I'm just trying to think.
It's not.
I think it's
It's
more
not.
versatile.
It's
well,
not.
Blaine,
You just meant I'm
It's
not.
not.
Trying to put a gun on you.
Like, why do you eat honey mustard on pizza? That's gross.
I dip my crust in honey mustard. There's a big
you don't only dip
difference,
the crust.
dog.
You don't only dip the crust.
Yes, I
No one
do.
believes that.
Don't triple stamp a
No
double
one believes
stamp.
that. No one believes that.
You
You're
can't
dipping
triple
the
stamp a double-
pizza.
no one believes that?
I don't think it's terrible, but it's not good. It's definitely not better than ranch and pizza.
Yeah, what can honey mustard do that ranch can't?
What can ranch do that honey mustard can? I think is the better question.
Well, but no, you've put the.
Okay, so to me,
it's more diverse.
To me,
Yeah.
I think honey mustard, and I'm more of a like the sweeter taste. Like I'm the twanger. That's kind of my favorite. So honey mustard's got a twang to it. Ranch to me is good. I love ranch. But I'll put honey mustard dressing on my salad. I think it's better than ranch on my salad.
I think that goes well.
I'll
That's
dip.
an opinion, but I think.
Yeah, I'll dip my
fries?
crust in honey mustard. I'll dip my French fries in honey mustard. I'll get chicken nuggets and smother them like the dude from Shutter Island's wife in honey mustard.
I got
Wow.
dark quick.
You guys are big.
Oh, it'll
big
get
on
dark.
movies here.
It'll be, yes, we're huge.
So I guess my only argument to what you're saying is I'm not disagreeing that honey mustard is extremely diverse.
Yeah.
You've definitely have proven the point there.
I appreciate that.
But when you brought up pizza and you said you dip your pizza honey mustard, then you get really offended saying I just do the crust.
Just the crust.
I would dip my pizza from the ground up with ranch.
I agree with that.
Yes.
The ranch is
Therefore,
better on the
You
pizza.
played yourself.
The ranch is
Ranch is
better
more
on
diverse
the
than
pizza
honey
itself.
Right, exactly.
Well, like,
Honey
I
mustard is
think-
better.
Okay, well, if
overall.
we're going proportionate,
He's digging his own grave.
if we're gonna fraction this out and we're gonna say that the slice of pizza is bigger than the proportion of the crust, I understand that.
Yep.
But I'm old school.
Yeah.
I like my pizza with just pizza. I'll dip it in ranch sometimes. If it's cheese pizza, I'm probably gonna dip it in a little ranch. But it would not be disgusting to dip in honey mustard. You act like I've got an arm growing out of my forehead when I say that I want to dip my pizza in honey mustard, even though it's just a crust. But if I did want to dip my whole piece of pizza in honey mustard, I'd expect better from you,
Really?
non-inclusive.
Well, why didn't you dip your whole pizza in honey?
Because it's not how I get down, Blaine.
Gross.
That's gross, but the crust is okay.
The crust is okay. The crust,
just
you
The
know,
crust is
blasphemous.
different because
The
there's
crust
not a
is different than
marinara
the pizza.
sauce on that, right? You don't want the marinara sauce with the honey mustard.
Grow
I
up.
understand
It
that.
doesn't warm the
Right?
pot
Thank
when
you.
It does,
want
it's
to.
two different
Thank you.
things. But
I appreciate
first
your
of all,
mature
we
approach to
appreciate
it.
this insight, though.
Yes.
This is important.
Yeah.
You know, we need
I'm real
this.
hung up on this though, because I think he's played himself a little bit.
He
Real
has.
hung up.
He has.
Yeah, I
just
think-
don't feel like I
think What you
have.
said is wrong, and all your points were just opinions.
Well, of course, because it's
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
my taste buds.
Yeah, I guess.
You
so.
know, again, I think
guess.
beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right?
That is true.
I've heard that before.
You
Or did
have.
you just come up
Socrates?
with
Who
that?
said
I think I just came up with that. I don't think anybody's
That
ever said that
Socrates?
before. No, I don't think it was Socrates.
Might have
I think
been.
I just.
You should look at the sky.
So where do we go from here?
I think
I
we should-
I
we
was
should
gonna.
pivot and go back to Michigan.
You want to
We
pivot
should-
hard? You want to
finish
do a
our
hard pivot?
Let's do a hard
Well,
pivot.
I'm just saying, we finally beat Ohio. We
Yeah.
finally won the Big Ten,
Yeah.
right? We finally made the college football playoff. Taylor, what do we do now? Where do we go now?
And I love that you asked this question because there's a lot of Ohio State fans out there that are just absolutely sick. You guys
Ohio.
are sick in
Ohio
the head
fans.
of
Yeah.
Ohio fans are just sick because their butts are so hurt about the last 20 years. Like, oh, 2 times, 3 times in 20 years. It's time to get over it because you're only as good as your last game when it comes to that game. So Michigan's a much better team than Ohio State. I said Ohio State, but it is. They're much better than
That's
that.
fine.
The only way to truly bring this Michigan and Ohio rivalry back to where it once was, when you first got there, because God knows when I was at Michigan, we didn't do anything very special at all. I'll be honest with you. It was a tough sledding out there.
Yeah.
if you want to bring it back, Michigan's got to do it again this year.
Yeah.
We got to win the Big Ten championship again this year. We got to beat Ohio this year, and you got to go back to the playoffs and have a better showing than you did before.
Amen to that.
You lost some guys. You lost Hassan. He's at the Tennessee Titans now. First Michigan guy since me drafted there.
Boom.
Happy to have the boy there. Obviously, the leadership from Aiden Hutchinson. Ajabo going to the Ravens, absolute stud. R.I.P. to his Achilles, though.
Oh,
that was terrible.
I was at Michigan, actually. I was in the building when he tore his Achilles. We were doing like a spring football tour from Michigan, and the guy's like, just hearing a story, right? Like where he grew up, not in the States, came here, started playing, didn't play football for very long, and then, for that to happen. But he's young.
Yeah.
And so he's got that going for him. I think if they have guys step up for Michigan, they're going to be a great football team.
Awesome. I love to hear it. They're saying we have to wrap, but I want to make sure that you get some swag before you leave.
That is.
Also, give a shout out to our boy Brandon Graham, because he comes on the show a lot.
Does he?
He comes on the show a lot, and I know you guys play the Eagles this season.
Brandon, I love you to death, but get your conditioning up, because he likes to talk in the first quarter. And then I'll say
I like this.
Love Brandon to death. A fun story about Brandon. I know you guys, we have to wrap up. But I was a freshman at Michigan, and Greg Fry puts me up against Brandon Graham, who was 13th overall pick to be at the time. I'm weighing 254 pounds.
Woo!
So your boy is less than
62.
Brandon Graham.
Can't wait.
62.
Yeah, we do one-on-ones. Not gonna lie, I stuck Brandon, and it was good. And Brandon was a guy, you saw him in practice, little to no effort, right? He was like, I'm a baller, and he would go kill it. But I got him, and everyone was making a big deal out of it. Even in my head, I'm like, yo, I might be that guy.
Yeah.
I might be him. And so he's like running back in his raspy voice, and I thought to myself, it's over.
Yeah. Well, this
so
was fun.
he picks me up and throws me about 15 yards away, dogs to the bag, and taps it with his finger. He was such an impressive specimen at Michigan. It was cool to watch him, and then kind of like, in your mind, as you're getting older and older, like, where do I compare to what I saw when I was a freshman?
And two, who are you going to go up against? It's again, it gives you kind of that ceiling as well.
How cool is the Stanley Cup?
Oh, it's the coolest thing.
How cool
I said this yesterday, and I feel like kind of bad because there's a lot of football fans out there that are mad at me, but it's the coolest trophy.
Oh, hands down.
Coolest looking trophy.
With the names?
The living infamy. You have the names wrapped around, and you're looking at like, holy shit, that's Bobby Orr. How cool is that?
Yeah.
And you're like picking it up, and there's all these rules about who can hold it and who can't hold it, and everyone gets a day with it. When it came to my house, I was like, hey, can we do this, this, and this? I want to do take a photo shoot with it, like laying in my bed.
Drinking out of it.
Drinking out of it and stuff. He's like, and there's two people, and one half of the year he watches the cup, and the other half of the year his buddy watches the cup. Like, that's their lives. That's their jobs.
That's great.
They get paid money to go do that.
The Stanleys.
And yeah, he was wearing the gloves. They were very clean, and he's like, this is what you can and can't do, and he was very strict on it. And I just thought that was so cool how this
it's like the
Lord
Holy Grail.
Stanley has
that is
the ability to do that. That's super cool.
I did not know that. That's a good question.
No, I saw that. I was
got a few of me now.
Yeah, I thought that was a banger.
Yeah. Well, brother, we appreciate you joining us. We got to do this
Thanks for
again,
having
man.
me.
Congrats on the
Thank you
success.
so
Going to be
much.
rooting for you guys this year, man. Going to really be.
That's a big deal. I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you.
Anytime. Fist bump it around. All right, we appreciate you joining us.
Hey, if you like that content, go ahead and subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, String in a Cup. As long as you're listening, we appreciate you. Go subscribe now. It's Crain & Company.